Well, hello everybody. This is YugiJ0319, and well, as you probably already know, there's a whole lot of craziness going on. Too much crazy. And I just want to talk about it. I actually have a script here that I wrote, but that one was specifically about the writing. But there's a whole lot more than writing, and yes, the writing is still going on. Excuse me, over a month after it started. And then look, okay. Writing is terrible, alright? It's terrible. Alright, you have a right to protest, not destroy. You have a right to your little signs. We want blah blah blah. Not flipping. You don't have a right to destroy and to take the rights away from other people. You don't have the right to beat them. You don't have the right to burn their businesses, burn their homes. What's crazy is the writing started, when it started, these people were burning down their own homes, burning down their own businesses, their own communities. How is that, they're trying to stick to the white man. How do you stick it to the white man, when you burn down your own communities? There's no logic in that. No logic. How is burning down your own community, your own businesses, BLM says they're trying to fight white supremacist America. How do you fight that by burning down black businesses, black homes? How do you... It makes no sense. But now, of course, they're just burning everything. They've been burning everything. And it's not just them, it's also Antifa and all of them antagonizing. I just don't... And nothing justifies burning and destroying. I can't condone that. Sorry, I can't. I can only condemn that. These people are doing nothing but destroy. You don't make things better by destroying, you make things better by creating. And they want... Their ideology is basically scorched earth, just except scorched America, but then after they're done with America, of course they want to scorch everything else. It's not how you do it, man. It's not how you do it. Okay, you want something, you peacefully protest. You don't destroy. You create, not destroy. And America's not a white supremacist nation. It's not. Okay, yes, there was slavery in the past, but the entire world has had slavery at some point. Every race, technically we're all the same race, we're Homo sapiens sapien. Homo sapien, that's our race. Every human alive today is the same race, Homo sapien. There used to be other human races, like Neanderthal, but and others I don't know the name of. But they've all gone extinct or got bred out. Like the Neanderthals, they got bred out of existence. So that's why I say racist. Racist. Race. But yes. And look, every race has been a slave at some point. White, black, this, that. It's all been a slave at some point. Alright. It happened. Okay, it's history. You can't just erase history because you don't like it. You can't be offended by history. It happened. If you're offended by history, things that happened hundreds of years ago, you need to talk to someone because that's history. You can't be offended by it. Nobody alive today was involved in it in any way. And you don't... Okay, this is the thing. These people, they like to call people Nazis and white supremacists, but they're more like the Nazis now than anyone else. Like the Nazis and the Soviets, they destroyed history. They destroyed things they didn't like. They really created nothing besides destruction, death, starvation. If you can call that. I don't know how you create starvation, but by not creating food, I guess. And these people are destroying. They're not... history is important. History teaches you the wrongs of the past, teaches the rights of the past. It teaches you how to move forward. It teaches you perspectives. They don't want perspectives. They don't want that. They want what their cult wants. Like, their cult's like, hey, this is what we believe, and we do not want to learn anything else. And you can't learn anything else, because it's not what our cultist doctrine says. You can't destroy history, man. Like, if you don't like statues, you have the power to put up a vote, and and if you vote to remove a statue, it gets put in a museum, because it's important to know history. But these people don't. Again, these people don't want to know history. They don't want to know history. These people need to learn, and they hate learning. And the problem, like, a lot of these people, like, obviously they're not learning anything in school. Obviously they're not learning anything in school. Like, and so many of these problems they're complaining about only exist, and, like, I don't like to play the party game. I think it's silly to play the party game. But when every major city is Democrat run, and they're the only places with really these issues that they're complaining about, they're the problem. Like, stop voting in people who are creating more of the problem. But then again, they're not teaching these people in these cities aren't being, obviously not being taught that they have the power to vote out these people. They have the legal power to fight all these injustices in the areas that these problems exist. But no, like, these people don't realize that they have the legal power to fix these issues, or at least address them. And then they're being told to blame all of America, being told to wage war in America, being told to wage war on the evil white man, when that's not really the problem. Well, maybe the white Democrats who are running these cities and creating all these problems that these people are going crazy about. And when I mean power, I don't mean going out and rioting and destroying. That is not in your right. It's not your right to take away the rights of others. It's not your right to take away the pursuit of happiness of other people. Okay, it's your right to protest. It's your right to fight things legally and peacefully. It's not your power to destroy. It's not within your rights to destroy. And you do have the power. And these people are like, well, it's white supremacy. We don't have the power to do these things. And it's like, you do. People, like, in the past, people have fought this. Before black people had the right to fight these things legally, before they had power of really anything, people fought them and won. That's how we got to where we are now. This country is funded. It was written that all men are created equal. Alright? Yes, there was slavery at first. Yes, not everyone under the law had the same rights. That's because people were here, like couple hundred years, the white people were here a couple hundred years before the funding of America. Right? Slavery was already entrenched. Like, you can't, like, founding fathers knew if they just outright been like, alright, no slavery, it would have just torn the entire brand new country apart. That's what happened with the Civil War. Like, it tore the country apart. It caused a civil war. And that's what they're trying to avoid. But they set the bar at all men are created equal. That bar was set. And slowly over time, we've been getting closer and closer to that bar. And we were right there. Like, that bar was in our hands, and we're about to pull ourselves up to it. And then this craziness. And now we're just fell way down the ladder. And now you have leaders of, like, I saw, then again, it's on the internet, so can't get, when you see something on the internet, you have to take it with a grain of salt. But apparently one of the BLM leaders said that whiteness was subhuman, which is, I'm sorry, that sounds very Nazi, except it's reversed. That is racism. You can't end racism with racism. The way you fight racism is to stop talking about it. Like, these people are these people say they want to end racism, yet they're racist themselves, and they're creating more racists. Like, young, impressionable minds are, for over a month, all they've been seeing on the internet, on TV, on the news, whatever, is black, 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 violence, 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 violence. Like, that's only going to create more, that's these young, impressionable minds going to see that and go, wow, this is how black people act. And they're going to be racist. Like, that's creating more racists. They're creating more of the problem. The way you defeat racism is, don't talk about it. When you see someone, don't be like, oh, black person, I need to treat them differently. No, you treat everyone the same. You treat everyone as a human being, as a homo sapien. You treat everyone the same. That is how you end it. But these people don't want that. They want to be treated like they're better. They want to be treated like they're the superior ones. That is not fighting racism. That is not ending problems. Like, creating more problems, creating more races, making things worse. I'm sorry, like, I can't condone what these people are doing. Like, if you want to, like, protest, you want to fight and to reform the police, if you want to fight reform policies, that's great, please do. Things could definitely be, the schools definitely need to be better, because they're obviously not teaching the things that need to be taught. They're teaching these kids that they have no power. When they do have legal power, they're teaching these kids that they're oppressed when they're not oppressed. Besides, under the Democrat-run cities, where everything's just terrible. Maybe a little bit. But if you leave these major cities, everything's great. Like, the average American dude, woman, whatever, is great. They're not racist. They're good, great people. Okay? Like, I was born and raised in Florida. And I lived in a small town, and now I live in the middle of nowhere in what I like to call a village. I mean, it's essentially what it is. This place is tiny. Alright? When you're in the city, yeah, there's just gang violence. There's racists everywhere. It's just terrible. But you leave that, and those problems, all those problems people are complaining about are gone. They're gone. You know, the schools are so much better. Kids are actually taught things. Well, maybe not so much anymore. People have infiltrated. These cultists have been infiltrated everywhere. But that's how it was. Instead of destroying history, okay, instead of destroying statues, instead of just destroying everything you like, learn history, learn more. If you learn the good, you need to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly. You need to learn all of it. So that way you can learn from the mistakes, you learn from the successes, you learn from the ugly, and you get more perspectives. You understand things more. You see things more clearly. All right, you have more of an understanding on how to move forward, how the future should be. Destroying statues is the opposite direction. All right, you can't go around banning books, burning books. You can't tell people what to think. You do not move forward in society when everyone thinks the same. You do not move forward in society when everyone has the same opinions. You do not move forward in society when no one is allowed to think outside of what the cult tells you to think. This country was established on the fact that different people are different. People should have the right to pursue happiness however they see fit. Obviously within the law, don't murder, don't steal, that sort of thing. Right? Different ideas, different opinions. Right? That is one of the main things on why America essentially invented the modern world, which is true. Like, look at all the modern inventions, all American. You do not move forward as a society, as a country. The world does not move forward when everyone thinks the same. That's what these people want. They want everyone to think. The leaders in these cults, They want everyone under them to think exactly like they do. You don't move forward. Alright? How are you going to get new ideas? How are things going to get better when everyone's just a machine printing out, flipping whatever they're told to print out? Like, that is not how things move forward. It is weird to look and talk to a camera. I keep wanting to look at the recording here. I'm sorry, and if you support these writers, the Antifa, the BLM, whatever, destroying not just their own communities, not their own buildings, their own businesses, but just everything. If you condone that, if you condone this scorched earth ideology, you're either lost and brainwashed, or you're just pure evil. I'm sorry, that's evil. Like, how is it justice? Like, when this writing first started, like, there were so many black businesses where the owners are just, there's some where they're, like, just breaking down crying. There's some that were just furious because their lives were destroyed. Like, they're being screamed at in the face that Black Lives Matter, but yet they're black, and BLM destroy their lives. Like, how is that justified? How does that make any sense? They're going against what they're screaming. Like, it makes no sense. How is that? Like, there's no logic in that. And I'm sorry, and that is evil. Like, you're destroying lives. Like, these people are literally killing people. White, black, whatever. It doesn't matter what race they are. The BLM is just killing them. They're going on beating people. Not caring about who they are, what they are, not caring at all. All these people want to do is destroy. That's all they want. They just want to destroy. Which, I'm sorry, is evil. And if you support that, you're either evil or just lost and brainwashed. Probably both. And there's a part of it you can't help but feel bad, because these people, they weren't taught any better. They weren't taught anything by the schools. They're obviously not being taught by parents. Like, I feel like most of the world's problems come down to parenting. Like, that's just a fact. Sorry. Most of the world's problems come down to parenting. And and it's not just black parents, it's just parents all around. Like, nobody is teaching their children. Alright? You have white Antifa, who obviously weren't taught anything besides what the retarded internet was telling them, the hive mind was telling them. You have black communities where single parenthood is very high, so they're not being taught the things they need to be taught. Nobody's teaching their kids morals, nobody's teaching their kids respect for themselves, respect for other people, respect for things. Like, one of the things when people were upset that they were burning buildings, people were like, well, that's covered by insurance. Like, it doesn't matter what it's covered by. Some people might not have insurance. And whether they do or not, these are just people's livelihoods. That's not how insurance works, dude. Alright? When you insurance is for when a freak thing happens, an accident happens, but insurance can't cover when the entire city is burned to the ground. That's just it. It's burned to the ground. Like, what are you going to do now? Like, the schools need to teach actual history. They need to teach these people that they have actual legal power to fix problems in their cities. Parents need to be parents and teach the kids, again, respect for themselves, respect for other people, and respect for things. Okay? And there's this idea that's like, you don't give respect unless that person gives you respect first. But if ever you thought like that, no one would get respect. Alright? Like, if I went to somebody and I'm like, well, I'm not going to give that person respect until they gave me respect, so I'm going to be rude to them. But if they think the same thing, there's never going to be any respect. You respect someone because they're a human. Respect someone because we are all human beings. We're all Homo sapiens sapien. Respect people because they're people. Alright? You respect someone, they respect you back. That's how it works. But no one's being taught morals. No one's being taught anything. It's kind of like we have like when we're born, we have like a default program that our brain runs. All right, it's like a survival mode default program that's run, and when you're not taught anything, you're not taught that you actually have it pretty good. The world, we live in the safest time period in human history, which we do. That's just a fact. Like, you look at all the statistics, we literally live in the safest time period in human history. Maybe not so much anymore, because the last month and a half or so. But when these kids aren't taught that, they're just in default mode where everybody and everything's out to kill them. That's what they think. They don't know any better besides that default program that's just running. And then you have all these people who think the world is just terrible when it's not terrible. At least not here in America. I mean, there's some places in the world that are pretty bad, and there's some places in the world that are pretty good. America, for example, is a pretty good place. Sorry. Like, if parents taught their kids the things they need to teach them, they wouldn't have to run on this default survival program where everybody's just out to kill them. If schools taught these people, everyone, this goes for everyone, not just, black community, it's not just for BLM, not just for, no, this goes for everybody. If schools taught the kids the things they need to learn, like they have the legal power to fix things that need to be fixed, they need, that they need to respect history, they need to learn history. Like, for example, my favorite thing to do is to learn. It's my favorite thing, alright? And the more you learn, the more understanding you have. The more you learn, the more respect you have. The more understanding you have. And these people obviously haven't learned anything. And, even when schools teach things, you have those kids who are like, I don't need to learn any of this. This is useless. I don't need to know any of this. And then they go out into the real world, and they're like, oh, snap, I don't know anything. Well, I blame the schools, even though the schools try to teach them. And they're just like, no. That's like getting a job, I don't know, like construction, for example. And your boss is like, hey, here's your hammer, here's your drills. And then the worker's just like, yeah, I don't need that. And you go start build whatever it is you're building, and you realize you ain't got no tools. And then you blame your boss for not giving you tools when he tried to give you the tools, and you rejected it. See, this is why parents need to be parents. Teach their kids respect. Teach their kids morals. And, really, I guess at the end, it's really just up to the kid to retain it. Because some people just choose not to. And they go out in the world, and they're just idiots. We all have the power to be very smart. We all have this amazing brain that has, evolved over millions of years, and people just choose not to use it. People choose ignorance. Like, how do you just choose that? It's crazy. It makes no sense. And of course, if you say, well, all lives matter, this is, that they call you racist, even though you view everyone the same. Like, you view, as the average American, you view everyone the same. You treat everyone the same amount of respect. You treat everyone like a human being, and you get called racist. How is that racist? How is that racist? How is it racist to treat everyone the same? How is it racist to treat everyone the same level of respect? How is it racist to treat everyone human? But, no, But then again, that's not what these people want. These people think they're superior. These people want to be treated like they're flipping royalty. These people think they're better. These people want free things for the sake of being free. That is not how things work. Nothing is free. Nothing is ever free. You want something, you go out and get it. You work for it. Is that a better way to put it? The video I saw where just a mob of just flipping crazy people beat this 15-year-old little girl for shoes and a phone. You want if you want shoes like that, You want a phone, you go out and you work for it. That you are pursuing your own happiness. That is your right to pursue your own happiness, not to take away the rights of others. That is not your right. But then again, these people aren't being taught hard work. They're not being taught, a good work ethic. They're being taught whatever. Just, you have no power even though they do have power. You're oppressed even though you're not oppressed. Do whatever you want. Go loot, go destroy, go kill, go do whatever you want. And that's not how it works. You want something, you create it. You go out and work for it. And no one's stopping you from getting a job. No one's stopping you from working for something. No one's stopping you from creating. It's endorsed. It's, what's that word? Celebrated. Not the word I'm looking for, but that'll work. Celebrated when someone creates something. When someone goes out and works for something. When someone, wants something, so they go and fight for it, not by looting and destroying, but by creating. By giving back. Alright? Like that, that stuff. I didn't go and loot and destroy and kill for that stuff. Oh, excuse me. I went to work. Made money. I'm like, you know what? I want to spend my money on that. So then I bought that stuff. That's how it works. You want something, you have to earn it. But, these people are taught just really nothing besides, evil white man. Even though that's not the case at all. Oof. You can probably tell that I usually don't talk to a camera. Something on my screen. And of course, people are probably, if anyone actually watches this, people are going to be like, well, it's just a white dude, he's racist. Even though I'm condoning, treating everyone with respect, no matter who they are. Treat everyone, every human being, every Homo sapien, as a human flippin' being. That's what I'm pushing for. I condemn destroying. I condemn taking away the rights of others. I condemn murder. But that doesn't really fit their cultist narrative. Learn history, dude. Learn all of it. You have all of history right at your hands. You don't have to go to the library, if it's even still standing. You don't have to go to these places. Alright, go online. Go to actual, good, reputable? Go to good sites, not sketchy ones. We all know what sketchy websites look like. Don't go to sketchy websites. The ones that'll just tell you cultist stuff. Good websites, and learn everything. Alright? Learn the good, learn the bad, learn the ugly. You have to learn all of it. And then you'll understand things more. With the tearing down the statues, these people tore down abolitionists. If I'm not mistaken, they tore down Frederick Douglass, who was once a slave, got out of slavery, and then fought for that American dream, that bar that was set really high, that all men are created equal. He helped push America to that bar that was set by the Founding Fathers. Of course, people are like, well, the Founding Fathers, they're white supremacists because they had slaves. It's like, dude, they were inherited, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, George Washington actually freed his slaves. But, they don't learn that. And, they couldn't just end slavery. They couldn't end, again, the white people were in North America, the Americas, for hundreds of years, already for a couple hundred years or so, before America was founded. America was founded in 1776, but 1776 didn't hit, and then there's just white people here. That's not how, no. People came here a couple hundred years before that. People were already here for a couple hundred years. Slavery was already entrenched. Again, if they just no more slavery, you would have had at the very funding of the country, it would have just been torn apart. Like, you can't just take away something that's entrenched. Like, you can't. Alright? So, like, okay. So, they set that bar. They set that dream. They set that bar at what America should be. And we were there. We were right there again. Our hand was on that bar. We were pulling ourselves up to it. And then the cultists took over. The crazy people just took over. See, that's why you need to learn history. You need to understand things. The more you learn about history, the more you understand. You understand that the founding fathers set the dream of what America should be, not what it was at the time. And people of every race fought for that. And we were like right there, dude. And then the crazy people took over. And now everybody believes that America is a white supremacist nation. It's not a white supremacist nation. It's not. These people are only continuing the cycle. Like, that's what it is. Like, if you learn about history, you learn that the entire world, entire human history, it's just been a cycle. Alright? Some bad dude did something bad to someone else, and then their children were like, hey, we want revenge, so they get revenge, and then the other person's children were like, hey, you did something bad to my ancestors, so I'm gonna get revenge, and it's just a cycle. Just over and over and over and over and over again. In America, basically, we had that almost stopped. It's essentially stopped. And then people started just pushing it just a little bit. Now it's just going faster. The cycle is just going faster and faster and faster. That's what it is. They're just pushing the cycle forward. It just makes things worse. The people who want to destroy history are the ones who are repeating it. That's why you need to know. That's why you need to learn history, not destroy it, so you don't repeat the cycle. So the cycle gets stopped. But no. That's not what these people want, though. They want all the power. You know what's... You know, and... You know, I'm not one for... I don't like conspiracy theories. I hate them. I think conspiracy theories are an excuse to believe whatever the flip you want to believe while ignoring everything else. But... when you have these major cities that are all run by the same people, and they're all just terribly run cities, and and they're the only places where you have all these problems that these people are complaining about, and you're complaining about white supremacy, but yet they keep voting in the same old white people who are just ruining their lives. Like, there's, I think there's something there. So again, learn history, learn the legal power you have, and fix your cities. Don't destroy them. Create a better city. Create more jobs. Create better homes. Create more. Don't destroy. You destroy, it continues the cycle, and makes things worse. There's a whole lot more, but I think I'm just keep repeating myself, but I mean, it's true though. Well, I guess that's... I thought I'd go in a lot more. What's going to happen is when we end it and then remember everything else I wanted to talk about. That's why I didn't go off my script. That I had a script. I'm like, oh no, there's 1,000 other things I need to talk about, and then just can't think of it. If you want things to get better, you don't do it you don't do it by making enemies. You don't. You don't declare the entire portion, a huge portion of the country, as your enemy, and expect that to make anything better. No. It's not. No. You create relations. You make things better by showing respect. to yourself, to other people, and to things. I cannot condone the destruction. It's all evil. Well, again, I'm repeating myself, so I guess that's just everything. Well, hopefully things get better. Hopefully. Try to have a good day. Goodbye. Bye-bye.